This is the SF Productions Podcast Network.
Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of Vast Wasteland.
The secret square. Could it be Bob Denver, Karen Valentine, Walt, the cast of Soap, Henry Winkler, Mr. Ed and Wilbur, Marty J. Wiley, Mark Schmidbauer, and in the center square, Wilbert Neal. All on the new
Is Tuesday at 6, Wednesdays at 10, Thursdays at 3. That Darren Pamela Furton. Oh, no, not another Burgess Meredith show. Wasteland, the video journal of popular culture. I'm Mark Schmidbauer.
And I'm Wilbert Neal.
And tonight we're going to start into our the next phase of comic books, Marvel Comics.
Marvel.
That's right. But before we get into the big extravaganza, we just want to tell you that we're on Tuesdays at 6,
Wednesdays at 10.
and Thursdays at 3 p.m.
Here on ACTV,
Cable 21. That's right.
And if you want to write us and tell us to stop doing this back and forth thing. We're at Post Office Box 151411,
Columbus, Ohio,
43215.
Oh, just cut that out. Anyways, and also want to thank a member of the Fourth Estate contacted me just yesterday for an interview. Yes, one of the fine people of the Worthington High School newspaper have contacted me last night, and so you'll want to rush out to your newsstands to pick that up. So
You just go to the school and say, "Excuse me, I want to get a copy of the paper."
I didn't get it in homeroom.
My homeroom ran out, so you go up to the counter and sit down like, "Can I get a copy of the paper?" Yes, a copy of the paper.
So there you go.
Boy, they'll love us. They'll
That's
never
right.
ask us to do another darn thing.
Ever again. That's right. We blew this opportunity.
Either that or they'll have us to come to all their home games
Yeah.
or something.
Well,
Anyway.
so Marvel Comics.
Exactly. Well, Marvel Comics, by golly, they've been around for quite some time. I'd say they started off as other companies, and
Right.
then it just kind of branched into Marvel. So I thought seriously about. In fact, we wanted to have somebody to come in to really to help us with this one. And wanted to do it, kind of like we did the DC one, but then that didn't happen, so we decided to do it this way.
That's right.
We're just going to do it by characters. And tonight, we're starting with the human element. Yes, the human element of Marvel Comics.
That's right.
The human element meaning kind characters who are basically super-powered humans, or enhanced humans, let's say.
Now, what would be the quick question? What would be the difference between an enhanced human and, say, a mutant?
Okay, mutants are born with their abilities, and they come to the fore later. It's kind of like having an allergy, and as you get older, it kind of kicks in, right? It develops.
Okay.
Where a superpowered or an enhanced human is somebody who was just normal until something happened to give them whatever powers it was. Usually either concerning cosmic rays or radiation or some kind of a drug treatment, you know? Something like that. Although they weren't drug. It was a medical treatment.
Yeah, it was never drugs.
It was never drugs back then. No.
It was a medical treatment.
Okay, but let's we'll start with this guy here, Captain America. Here, I've got a picture here. Captain America, who was kind of like one of the earliest of the Marvel.
Yeah, he was right there pretty much in the beginning.
Yes, exactly. And he, really, the story kind of behind him is Steve Rogers was this little wimpy guy who, his brother had gone off and all his friends had gone off to sign up for World War II, and it's like he was just too small and puny to, he went and tried, but they told him, no, you're just too small and puny, and so he felt really bad about that. And well, a doctor who just happened to be there at the recruiting office at the time said,
hung out.
Young man, well, let me take you aside here, and we see that you really want to help. So we've got this new development that we're working on here, and we'll put you into this program and see if we can do some things to you so we can help you and all like this. And so he volunteered for that, and what it was this a medical treatment, a medical and exercise treatment where well, they injected him with some strange, wonderful new formula.
But it wasn't a drug.
That's right. It wasn't a drug, and it wasn't steroids or anything like that. But it was some medical formula that this doctor injected him with.
Super juice.
Which imbued him with great, powerful muscles almost immediately. Bing. And they put him through an exercise thing and put him through a training program and everything, and he became the first super soldier.
Right.
And that was the super soldier program.
And certainly, virtually all the other comic book companies did takeoffs on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that was such a durable concept.
Exactly.
Especially during World War II, everybody had their own fighting soldier guy.
Their own fighting super soldier guy, like, well, was it Captain Glory?
Yeah, got Captain Glory. I can't forget him.
And he's
the Shield.
Yeah, and the Shield, right? There's even one in the Green Hornet comic books. They've got somebody that's, well, like the early Green Hornet. They're doing this whole story about a super soldier kind of program, and by golly, there's somebody there. Anyway, he graduates from the program, and they decide, well, this is just great, but we can't let you just go out there as Steve Rogers. Why? We've got to give you an identity, somebody to bolster the fighting man out there, and give them somebody to look up to and everything like that. We'll give you this red, white, and blue suit and a wonderful shield and everything. Actually, his first shield, though, was kind of a triangular kind of thing.
Right.
And so he went out as America's #1 fighting guy there and super soldier and all that. But when he graduated from the program and they found out how successful it was, they wanted to do more, but his assassin came in and shot the doctor. So the formula kind of died with him.
You have this great formula, and somebody shoots the doctor every time.
The formula pretty much died with the doctor, and so Steve was out there, and Captain America and Bucky were out there fighting in World War II, and then
because in the 1940s, every superhero had to have a sidekick.
Exactly. You can't be a superhero without a little super sidekick there with you. So
now, did Bucky have superpowers, or he's just a scrappy little kid?
Bucky was just a scrappy kind of worldly little kid, kind of street smart. You know, your street smart punk kid, and Cap took him under his wing and said, well, by golly, with your smarts and my power, we can go out there and kick some Nazi butt. So that's basically what they did. And so that's pretty much how that went. And then I guess the original Bucky got killed somewhere along the line there.
Yeah.
And so
that was pretty common, actually.
Yeah, it's like people.
I think that happened right around the time when we had the when we had all the various hero and sidekicks looked upon as, ooh, there might be something untoward happening there.
Exactly.
You know, two guys hanging around all the time, you know, and
no women around.
Yeah,
you know,
so they kind of
nothing to talk of, you know. So said, well, we can't have that, so we'll
kill off all the sidekicks.
Kill the sidekick. Yeah, that's it. That's what we'll do. We'll kill the sidekick. So they did, and then well, let's see. Cap also got frozen in the ice somehow. It's one of his run-ins with his major enemy, the Red Skull.
Red Skull.
He ends up getting frozen in the ice, and so he's preserved, and then, well, it was about 20 years later, they find him and thaw him out, and by golly, he's just as good as new, Captain America.
And it's still the same Steve Rogers that started in the current continuity? Well, I suppose technically it's the same Clark Kent, it's the same Bruce Wayne in the DC world, I suppose. So it's
still basically the same Steve, and well, the freezing thing kind of.
Right, that kind of explains it.
And also the super soldier serum keeps him from aging. And also, well, the freezing, you know, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
That you can't hurt with your freeze-dried superhero there. It can't hurt to have a freeze-dried superhero.
And of course, just recently they had the big Captain America movie fiasco.
Yeah.
Now this is something I want to get into more as we go into Marvel, and that is the idea of why can't Marvel make a decent movie? Why can't the companies that get Marvel characters make a decent movie? Or a movie that makes big money like DC's Heroes films.
Well, I think it's the idea that DC's heroes are more super.
Yeah.
That seems to be what it always was to me. Their heroes were just more super. Marvel heroes had problems. They were more human, and they had more frailties.
Frailties.
Even though they were super, they still had more frailties. It's kind of in there somewhere, and people relate more somehow to the DC heroes as being heroes.
Right.
And where the Marvel heroes, it's like, well, we could just do a movie, you know, basically, and throw this guy in there.
Well, just as an example, this Captain America movie, which I haven't seen, but I've heard a lot of people tell me about, you know, and it's apparently the people who did the movie just went ahead and changed all these various things, like Red Skull, he's Italian. You know. I mean, that kind of thing was going on. I don't know what the deal was. It just seemed like over and over and over again we had, you know, heroes, things that just didn't make any sense. I don't get it. Anyway.
Well, it's somewhere in artistic license and all that. They buy the rights to do the thing, and it's kind of, well, then we can do whatever we want. So it never made sense to me, but no, there we are. Hey. Who's that up there with that camera?
Hey, somebody has camera. Hey, you. Hey.
Yeah, get that guy out of there.
That's right.
Okay, so Captain America, that's one hero. And then, well, kind of the staple of the modern hero, I guess, is the this guy here. Whoop. No, you're not doing that right now.
That's right.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh, no!
Oh, earthquake! All the heroes have fallen over. And it's all Spider-Man's fault.
Must be one of those secret wars going on.
I guess so. Dr. Doom or somebody.
Yeah.
Created an earthquake. Anyway, Spider-Man's alias was Peter Parker. Peter Parker was just your average high school student who really liked science, and he was really into science, and he was considered kind of a nerd and a geek by the jock community of the high school and everything.
Right.
And, well, I mean, the girls kind of felt sorry for him, you know, but he was always going to these science classes and science lectures and things, and there was one lecture one time at one university that he decided to go to. It was going to talk about radiation and its uses in the home or something like that. Some great new process for radiation. So he went to this, and the doctor's there talking, and he's got the machines going and everything, and he's paying attention. And he feels this tingle in his hand because this spider's falling down and bitten him. And so he kills the spider, and he goes on about his business, doesn't think any more about it, but he starts getting groggy, headachy and things. He leaves, and he's not paying attention to where he's going. There's a car racing, barreling down after him, and so he moves out of the way, and the car goes by, and he realizes he's up on the side of a building. And he said, what the heck is going on here? And then he remembers the spider bite, which is probably big, red, and swollen by now, right. And glowing, in fact, because this spider had come down and had gotten between the rays of the machine that was going on there and got imbued with radiation.
Ooh, that radiation.
That radiation stuff. By golly, that's awful. And so he became imbued with the powers of a spider. Hey, what's going on there? Who's that? Hey, what's going on there? Yeah, that's just old Spidey there, making another appearance. And so what happens then is he figures all this out with his great scientific brain that
right.
He's been imbued with these powers of a spider. And so he says, well, hey, I've got this. I'm going to make some money off of it.
Yeah. See, this was one of the first heroes. His first inclination is
the almighty dollar. I'm going to make some money off of this whole thing here, and then I can help my poor old Aunt May and Uncle Ben, who have raised me since my parents died.
Right.
So he goes home, and heck, this Peter Parker is just a whiz. He sews his suit together, and he goes, and he's going to like be on Johnny Carson or some big show like that. And so he goes to the station, and he's about to be on the show, and some guy comes running through, and the guard's like, hey, stop that man. He just stole all the money that was in the whole building or something like that.
The man's like, I'm too busy.
I'm too busy being a star.
That's right.
And so he lets the guy go. And so, well, you could have stopped him. He said, yeah, well, that's your job. You're the security guard. So he goes ahead, does the show, gets some money, he's all happy. He goes home and presents it to Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and they're all happy and stuff. And then, a couple days later, well, he doesn't tell them how he got the money,
right.
really.
Just that he got some money.
Just that he got some money.
Right.
And a couple days later, he's coming home from school, and there's police cars and everything around his house. What had happened was this: somebody had broken into the house. Uncle Ben had stopped him and got shot, got killed. And when he finds the guy finally, it's the same darn guy that was running out of the studio with all the money. And so it's like, if I would have stopped him then, Uncle Ben would still be alive. Aunt May wouldn't be a widow. I wouldn't be feeling so bad about everything. And so
this began his period of neuroses, pretty much, which pretty much continues to this day.
It's kind of that thing in there. He decides then, with great power comes great responsibility.
Question from the floor.
Oh, yes.
Can you be a superhero without having a neuroses?
Well, but it seems like Spider-Man has far more than anybody else.
Well, no, I'll say all the Marvel characters have some sort of neuroses that drives them on, kind of like Captain Kirk.
That constant sense to move on.
That's right. No, you can't cure me. That's who I am.
That's right.
If you take away my fear, then I'll have nothing. No, but anyway, so Spider-Man goes ahead and he develops web shooters with his great scientific power that can shoot out webs so he can swing through the town, and he just thinks he'll be everybody's friend. Whoa, here he comes now, flying in.
Wow.
Whoa. Here he is, Spidey once again, and he can, well, he has the powers of a spider. He can climb all over things and hang upside down.
These huge suction cups on his hands.
That's just for effect.
That's right.
So, but anyway, oh, that didn't work. They do really work, though. Anyway, he can climb all over the place. And he's just got a bunch of villains that come after him too, and he's had his share of troubles. But well, we'll get into more of that later. Another group. Huh?
Well, I was going to say, if you're going by these guys down here, you got to go into the next one. I think the next major radioactive type hero.
Oh, you mean Daredevil?
well, no, actually, there's another one, but
Okay,
Daredevil
Daredevil is later. Well,
Right.
okay, we'll go into the next. This one's actually a super group.
Oh, okay.
The Fantastic Four, led by
Reed Richards.
Mr. Fantastic, the stretching guy. Another
Guy
scientific
apparently with a heck
genius,
of an ego, calling himself
Mr. Fantastic.
What an ego this guy has.
Yes, indeed. And basically, Reed Richards is he's just a brainy college professor kind of a guy, and he's always liked science, and science is his whole life, and so he gets together with an old friend of his. They went to school together, college together.
Right.
Ben Grimm,
Right.
who was kind of a football hero and everything like
Right.
that, and he always admired Big Brain, as he called Reed Richards at that time, and decides he'll help him out on any venture that he has going. And so it's like Reed develops a rocket.
Yeah.
And he wants to test this rocket, but he can't get NASA approval to do it, so he decides to do it pretty much on his own.
Kind of like Salvage One, actually, that Andy Griffith's deal.
Kind of, and he gets together with, let's see, he has a young friend named Johnny Storm and Johnny's sister Sue, who Reed's kind of sweet on.
Yeah, well, you know.
He's going to take them all up in this rocket here together. They'd all decide to help him out, and so they go up, and they get bombarded by cosmic rays!
I hate those cosmic rays, boy.
Well, golly, they sure did, because not only did they lose control of the rocket and end up crashing it, but they kind of lose control of their own normal human selves.
That's right.
Reed's developed this ability to become elastic and just stretch all over the place. Johnny felt he was just burning up, and his suit burned off of him, and he just became like a ball of fire. But then he found out that he was still in kind of a human form. He could fly, and he could control fire. He could throw fire. He could do all kinds of things. Sue kind of had a bad headache and sat down and
Headache woman.
she turned invisible.
Had a headache?
And just turned invisible.
Only power we've got.
She has a migraine every time she turns invisible. Oh.
And poor Ben Grimm, by golly, the rays probably had the worst effect on him. He just sat down and he felt like he was heavier than he'd ever been in his whole life. And he actually became like a rock creature. And developed the name of the Thing.
The
'Cause
Thing.
he was just a big rocky thing. And Reed sees that they've all got these special different powers. They've all been imbued with these powers, and he says, well, hey, we should try to put these to good use and help humanity.
That's right.
And so from there, they decide to all get together and become the Fantastic Four. Defenders of right and good and everything, and
Nice people and things.
yes, and savers of the world from anything bad and evil and alien and cosmic or something like that.
I think Stan Lee possibly put it better than that, but I'm just guessing.
And they were pretty much one of the first modern super teams.
Right.
And right away, they just start off running into all sorts of strange things, but we're just going to talk really about the human and the heroes today. So
Well, one thing I wanted to say about Fantastic Four is, I mean, from what I've seen of them, it seems like almost pretty much all the time they're breaking up. What's the deal with this? Seems like every time you turn around, they're breaking up.
Well, one member or another will leave, or somebody gets fed up with the whole thing and says, well, Ben, all through their early incarnation was like, well, I'm just a rock creature and nobody likes me, so maybe I should just go off by myself, which he did a few times. But then they always get him to agree to come back, because by himself, I mean, he's got no friends and everything. At least with them, it's like family, you know. He feels like he's got somebody to like him. And then when he does get a girlfriend, well, she's blind, and, and she appreciates him for himself, and because she can't see him, and so she's not afraid of him. And people were always running from him and everything, so he just felt better with a blind girlfriend. And well, let's see, Johnny, at one point, he just went schizo. It's like his flame became more and more intense, and it started frying his brain, kind of.
Ow.
He just became white hot, and he just kind of left. And he linked up with some alien girl for a while, so they had to bring somebody else in. Well, let's see, one time when Ben left, they brought in She-Hulk, who's another human that became imbued with powers, but we'll talk about her a little later. And there have been different people that have joined the Fantastic Four from time to time, but it's still basically the basic four there, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben. Okay, well, I mentioned the Hulk, so let's talk about the Hulk here. Dr. David Banner, or Dr. Bruce Banner, or Bruce David Banner, or David Bruce Banner, however you want to
take
line it up there. Dr. Banner was, well, basically your wimpy scientist guy.
Yeah.
This kind of happens a lot in the Marvel Universe. You start off with
wimpy scientist guy.
a wimpy scientist guy who is experimenting with, a new type of an atom bomb. And they're doing this big test on this new atom bomb, which, of course, well, will put out large amounts of radiation. And so they're doing this test out on this field, and by golly, some darn kid gets into the test area, and he's like poking around out there, and Dr. Banner goes, hey, there's a kid out there, and the countdown is going. Well, we can't have that. I've got to go out there and rescue this kid.
Now I have a question then.
Okay.
If these were technically the same type of radiation, then why did it turn one person into the Incredible Hulk and another person into the Incredible Colossal Man?
Well, now see, that's just one of those big... Well, because radiation, we don't really know what happens.
That's right. It does lots of different things.
It burns you up. It grows things big, or it turns them green. What can we tell you? Anyway, he was out there, and he knocked the kid out of the way, but he got pretty much the full brunt of the radioactive blast there, and they just thought he was a goner.
Yep.
But they found him a little later, and he seemed to be okay, but when they woke him up, he got big and green and jumped away, because the Hulk, he pretty much, he gets big and green and jumps. And he jumps. He can jump like a mile at a time, and so he just kind of jumped away and became like a bad guy for a long time until he calmed down and became Dr. Banner again. Well,
yes, it's about time to get out of here. Well, next time on the show, we're going to have Wilbert and Marty doing disco, and next time for the comic book show, 3 shows from now, we'll be doing the second part of Marvel, and guess we'll go more into the humans, and then what are we moving into next time?
Gee, let's see, what do we have here? We have wizards, aliens, gods, bad guys,
and just everybody else, except
you name it. But then we're saving the best though for last.
The mutants. We'll be doing the next time after that.
That's right.
That's right.
And we've got a TV show in there too, but what are we gonna well, we'll see.
We'll see. For all of us here at Vast Wasteland.
Or at least for us too.
That's right. We'll see you next time. Good night.